Good afternoon, one and all present here. This is Pranita from Zoho Books team. So today I will be guiding you with this session on how to elevate your stock management with Zoho Books. So without any further ado, let's get into the session. So today's agenda would be, we'll be looking into on what is Zoho inventory basically, and how to integrate Zoho Books with Zoho inventory, and what are all the add-ons available within Zoho Books with respect to Zoho inventory. And we'll be looking into the advanced inventory features available in Zoho Books, and we'll see what are all the integrations with respect to shipping, shopping cart and e-commerce available in Zoho Books. And in the later part, we'll be looking into the advanced inventory related reports available in Zoho Books. And in the end of the session, we will be having a question and answer session would be available, so you can post your questions there. So now let's see what is Zoho inventory. So Zoho inventory is an cloud-based inventory management software with which you can have multiple warehouses for your organization. You can track your stock with respect to each and every item. So there are several advanced inventory features also available with respect to this. So we'll be looking into one by one in the later part of the session. So now let's see how to integrate Zoho Books with Zoho inventory. So once you log into Zoho Books, you can go to settings. In settings, you will be able to see integrations and marketplace. There you can go to Zoho apps, under which you will be able to see Zoho inventory. So before integrating it, you will be able to see a button as try now. So once you click on it, you can either select the organization, the Zoho inventory organization you have already created, or you can create one and you can integrate it. Once it is integrated, you will be able to see Zoho inventory showing as active, and you can access your Zoho inventory organization from here itself. So after integrating it, you will be able to see your stock management with respect to two different kinds. So these are physical and accounting stock. So what is physical stock? So physical stock is nothing but, so when you physically ship your goods from your place and when you physically receive the goods in your place. So that will be calculated based on the transactions like shipments and purchase receipts in Zoho Books. So these two modules we will be discussing in the later part of the session. So next one is accounting stock. So accounting stock is nothing but whenever you actually create an invoice to the customer and receive a bill from the vendor. So when you will be taking this particular product in your books of accounts. So even after integrating it, by default in Zoho Books, the stock tracking will be based on bills and the invoices that you are creating it. So next, let's see what is Zoho inventory add-on. So Zoho inventory add-on will help you in using inventory modules like shipments, purchase receipts, pick list, etc. within Zoho Books itself. So this inventory add-on can be enabled in Zoho Books from premium plan of Zoho Books. And if you are in premium plan of Zoho Books, you need to be in any of the paid plan in Zoho inventory so that you can manually enable this add-on. And if you are in elite or ultimate plan of Zoho Books, this would be automatically enabled. So now let's see how to enable the same. So from Zoho Books, you can go to settings. In settings, you will be able to see preferences. Under preferences, you can navigate to general. So here you will be able to see Zoho inventory add-on. So here, once you have enabled, these list of modules will be available in Zoho Books. And here you can see the option physical stocks gets updated automatically when you raise bills and invoices. So this is the default flow in Zoho Books. So once you have enabled it, you'll be getting an option to change the same. So you can click on it and you can see you will be getting two options. So automatically and manually. So automatically is nothing but whenever you create an invoice or a bill, the physical and the accounting stock both will be updated. And when you choose it as manually, the physical stock will not be updated when you create an invoice or a bill. So what you can do is you can manually mark it as shipped if it is already shipped, and you can mark it as received if it is received. So you can choose whichever is relevant in your preference. So now after integrating and enabling the module, so as part of this inventory integration, you will be getting inventory approval. So as like how we have sales and purchase approval in Zoho Books, we will be getting inventory approval for the inventory related transactions like inventory adjustment and transfer order. So in order to enable it or update or anything, so this needs to be done from Zoho inventory. So once you go to settings of Zoho inventory, you will be able to see approvals under the organization tab. So where you can enable the Zoho inventory approval. So once this is enabled, so you will be able to see an option to set up the notification preference, and we can set up the approval workflow. So next is advanced inventory features that are available in Zoho Books. So these are the list of advanced inventory features available within Zoho Books. So let's look into each and every one. So first one would be the multi-warehouse or the warehouse management. So this is nothing but, let's say you have a company which is residing in different location, and each location consists of different warehouses. Let's say I have one warehouse in Tamil Nadu and one in Karnataka. So I need to manage the stock of each and every item with respect to the warehouse, so that I can get a clear picture if the stock is available in the particular location or not. And I can also transfer the stock between my warehouses also. So now let's see how to enable the same and create warehouses. So once you go to settings, under this organization tab, you will be able to see warehouses. So from here you can enable warehouses. So once this is enabled, this is how it will look like. So by default, one will be marked as primary, and if you wanted to switch the primary, you can just click on the settings icon and you can mark the other organization as primary. So if in case if you're discontinuing any warehouse in the near future, so we have an option to mark it as inactive. So once you have marked it as inactive, the stock available in the particular warehouse will be frozen, and you will not be able to select this warehouse in any of the transactions. So if in case if you wanted to activate in the future also, you can do the same. Again, you can click on settings and you can mark as inactive. So once it is active, you will be able to use it again in the respective transactions. So once this is done, so whenever you create any transaction, you can associate the warehouse for each and every module. So once you have enabled this, you can also set up the user restrictions for the same. So you will be able to select which are all the warehouses that would be accessible to the users to create the transfer orders from here. So you can select if they can create transfer order for all warehouses or only accessible warehouse, or the source and destination warehouse. So you can mention the accessible warehouse for the users by going to settings, users and roles. So whenever you invite any user, so let's say I'm inviting a user now. So here I will be getting the list of warehouse I have created. So I can select whichever warehouse is accessible for this user, and I can also select the primary warehouse for this user. So whenever this user logins, so they will be able to access only these warehouses, and they can create transaction only with this warehouse. So next is bin locations. So once we have created warehouses, so let's say your warehouse consists of 4 different levels, and in each levels you will be having different storage bins. So these storage bins will consist of different products inside it. So let's say in the first level you will be having finished goods, in the second level you will be having one set of spare parts, and in the third one you will be having another set of raw materials or the spare parts. So whenever you get an order from the customer, it will be hard for you to locate the item in which level it is actually residing. So in order to quickly locate the item and efficiently pick it from your warehouse, this bin locations will be helpful. So this will be the smallest part in your warehouse where you will be storing the items. So now let's see how to enable and use this warehouse. So this warehouse can be enabled only from Zoho inventory currently. So this is currently not available within Zoho Books. So for the same, you can go to settings of Zoho inventory. So there you can go to warehouses. There you can go to warehouses, under which you will be able to see the warehouses you have created. So you can click on settings and you will be getting an option to enable bin locations. So once you have enabled this, you will be able to see different zones available for the warehouse. So by default, you will be getting 3 different zones, and you can create another zone also, how many of zones you have as per requirement. And once you have created, you will be able to see the different levels that you can create within the respective zone. So these levels will consist of the number of bins. So here I have created 3 different levels as floor, easel and rack. So inside which I can mention how many bins I have particularly in this level. So once this is done, so whenever I create an item, so we can go to items, and whenever an item is created, you will be able to see an option track bin location for this item. So once you have tracked it, so whenever you create any transaction for the respective item, so here I have created a bill for this item. So here you can see we'll be getting an option to select the bin location, at which location this particular item is currently residing to. So likewise we can select the same. So next is serial number tracking. So serial number is nothing but a unique identifier for each quantity of an item. So with which you can keep track of each quantity of an item which you have in your stock. So this can be enabled and you can be selecting it, and you can enter it while creating the transaction. So likewise we also have batch number tracking. So this is nothing but an unique identifier, but for a batch of items. So this will not be for an each and every quantity of an item. So this will be for a batch of item. So let's say I have a box of pencils which consist of 100 pieces of pencils. So in that case, I will be using this 10 pencils as in one batch. So this 10 pencils will go into one batch, and each and every pencil will have a serial number also. So let's see how to enable the serial and batch numbers. So for enabling the same, you can go to settings. In settings, you will have items. Under items, you will be able to see this option to enable serial numbers and enable batch numbers. So once you have enabled this, you can also configure under which transactions you can have this serial and batch number tracking. So here I have selected, I will track under packages, purchase, receive and return receipts. So likewise, you can also select if you wanted to track it under invoice, bills or credit notes. And if you wanted to keep this as mandatory also, you can select the same here. So once this is done, so whenever you create any item, so you will be able to see this option, advanced inventory tracking, and you can select if it is in serial number, and if it is a batch number, you will be able to see the option to track the batch numbers. So you can see this option to track batches. So once this is done, whenever I create any transactions, I will be able to see the option to select the serial number. So here I have created this transaction for the serial number tracked item, in which I will be getting an option to select the serial numbers based on the quantity that I have in the transaction. So likewise, I will be having a bill in which I can add the batch tracked item. So here you can see I will be able to select the batches based on the quantity which I mentioned here. So next is the unit of measurement. So unit of measurement is nothing but, let's say I have a product which I will be purchasing from the vendor and I'm selling to the customer. So let's consider the earlier example itself. So let's say I'm purchasing a pencil which the vendor will be sending me within a box. So for the vendor, the unit of the product is box, but when I'm selling the pencil to the customer, I will be selling it in pieces. So I will be considering the unit of the product as in pieces. So in this case, I will be having a same product but which has a different unit in the purchase and the sales transaction. So in such cases, this unit of measurement will be useful. So now let's see how to enable and use it in Zoho Books. So for the same, you need to go to settings. In settings, you will be able to see unit of measurement under items. So you can click on it. Once you have enabled it, so this is how it will look like. All the units that you have in your books will be available here. So in order to set the unit conversion, first you will have to set the precision. So you can edit the item and you can set the unit precision here. So both the target and the base unit should have an unit precision. So once you have set up the unit precision, so you can just click on this option. You'll be able to see an option, view unit conversions. So you can just click on it and you can select the target unit. So here I have selected it as pieces. So which means one piece is equivalent to 3 boxes. So likewise, we can select it for multiple units here. So here for pieces also, I have mentioned unit conversion as 1 box is equal to 2 pieces. So whenever I create any item now, let's say I'm creating a new item, I can select a default unit as the box. And if I scroll down in the sales and purchase transaction, I will be getting an option to select the conversion unit. So it can be piece or a box here. So once I have done that, so whenever I create a transaction also, I would be getting an option for the item which has that unit. So I have created a conversion for the box unit. So if I select any item with the unit as box, I will be able to select the conversion unit here. So it can be box or a pieces. So based on this unit, so you can see the rate also getting changed. So if I'm selecting it as box, you will be able to see the rate as 60,000 here. So if I'm selecting it as pieces, you'll be able to see the rate getting changed based on the piece, because 1 box is equivalent to 3 pieces here. So likewise, the rate will also be updated. So the next is composite items and bundles. So composite item, it's like an item which has multiple products inside it. So let's say it is in festive occasion and you're providing some festive hampers to your customers. So in which you'll be having multiple items like sweets, savories and gift items inside it. So instead of adding these 3 items or multiple items in your invoice, so you can create one item as a composite item named festive hamper. So within this item, you will be adding your sweets, savories and gift items, whatever item it is. So it can be both goods goods item or a service item. But this composite item, whichever you are creating, that should be with the item type as goods by default. So you cannot create a composite item with the type as service. So after creating this composite item, you need to increase the stock of this composite item in order to sell it to your customers, right? So in order to do the same, so we have this option as bundle. So by using this bundle, you can create a bundle so that the stock of the composite item will be increased, and which in turn will decrease the stock of the items that you have within the composite item. So now let's see how to create transactions with composite items. So before creating any composite item, you will have to enable it. So you can go to settings. In settings, you can go to items. Under items, you will be able to see this option, enable composite items. So once you have enabled this, under this items header, you will be able to see composite items. So here we already have few composite items. So let's consider this first composite item, which is storage combo. So first you will have to give a name to the composite item and the unit. So once you have done that, you can associate multiple items inside it, which can be a goods item or you can add a service item also. So based on this, you can calculate the selling price as well as the cost price, and you can also configure the advanced inventory tracking, like if you wanted to track the serial number or batch numbers. So once this is done, so you will be able to add this particular composite item into your invoices instead of adding all these items. So once this is done, in order to increase the stock of the composite item, we will be creating bundle. So you will be getting an option to create bundle from here. So this bundle will consist of the options like how much of quantity you wanted to create with this bundle. So if you wanted to increase one quantity of this composite item or multiple, so you can mention the quantity here, and you can also mention what are all the quantities you will be getting it from each and every item that you have within the composite item. So based on this, the bundle will be created. Once this bundle is created, you will be able to see the stock of this composite item being increased based on the same. So the next is item groups. So item groups is something similar to composite item, but the only difference is in composite item, you will be having different products of different attributes and not a similar items. But in item groups, you will be having similar item, but with a different attributes. For example, let's say if you are selling some clothes to your customer like t-shirts or pants, so the t-shirt will be having a same attribute, which the product is t-shirt, but it will have a different attributes like size will be different and the color will be different. So here the attribute is referred to this color and the size of the product. So the product will be t-shirt, but the attributes of the product will be different. Based on that, you will be able to create different items. So this can be a fully service item or a goods item, and it can be in both non-inventory and an inventory item. So let's see how to create the same. So for this, under items, you can go to item groups. So here we have already created few item groups. So you can just create an item group by giving a name to the group. So in this case, you will not be able to select this item group. So you will be able to select only the items that is within this item group. So once you have given the item group name, so you will be able to select the attributes. So here I have given the attribute as size. So for this glass bottle, I have given the attribute size as the mls, that is relevant to the glass bottle. So with respect to the attributes, so you can see the items are being created. So whenever you generate an invoice, you will be able to add these items which is created by this item group. So you can also generate an SKU automatically for this items. So you can generate the SKUs and you can mention the cost and selling price, and you can create the same. And you can also configure the sales and purchase account for this. So once you have created this, you will be able to enter the opening stock for each and every item. So here you can see all these items are created, and you will also be able to enter if you have any opening stock for each and every item. So once this is done, even after creating the item group, you will be getting an option to add items to the item group. And if you wanted to remove any items from the item group, so you'll be getting an option here to remove this item from the item group, or you can move it to another group. So likewise, if you have already created some items which you wanted to add it to this group, so you can just select this item and you can click on bulk actions. You'll be getting an option to add to group. So you can either add it to the existing group, or you can create a new group and add the same. So the next is barcode generation. So after creating an item, so whenever you create any transactions, you will have to manually search for the item and select it here. So instead of doing this manual work in order to avoid the same, so you can generate barcodes for the item with which you can easily scan the barcodes and you can have the items added into your transactions. So in Zoho Books, you can generate barcodes by using unique identifiers like SKU, item name, etc. And you can also print the barcodes with the available templates. So now let's see how to generate generate barcodes? So for the same, first you will have to enable it from the settings. You can go to customization and PDF templates. You'll be able to see an option as item barcodes. So from here, once you have enabled it, you'll be able to see two options. One is barcode, another one is QR template. So with these two templates, you will be able to generate barcodes. So in order to generate it, you can go to items and you can select any one of the item. So you'll be able to see this option, generate barcode. So you can just click on it and you can choose the template and you can choose the field with which you wanted to generate this barcode. So here I'm selecting it as item name and you can click on generate and you will be able to see an option to enter the copies. So I'm entering 2 as in copies. You'll be able to see the options. So you can, from here, you can just print the barcodes and you can use it in your items. So the next is transfer order. So transfer order is nothing but, so as I initially mentioned, so if you have multiple, if your company is residing in multiple locations and if you have warehouses in multiple locations, so we'll be providing you an option to track each and every warehouse and the stock in each and every warehouse, right? So what if in case if you are transferring goods within your warehouses? So let's consider I have one warehouse in Tamil Nadu, other one is in Karnataka. So I'm transferring goods within these warehouses. So in order to keep track of it, so we can create transfer orders so that we can keep track like how much of quantity is actually available for this product in the source as well as in the destination warehouse. So now let's see how to create the transfer order. So in order to create a transfer order, you should at least have 2 warehouses in your organization. So if you have 2 warehouses in your organization, you can go to this transfer orders tab and you can start creating the transfer order. So here you will be selecting the source and the destination warehouse. And once you select the item, you will be able to see the stock in the source warehouse and the stock in the destination warehouse. And if you are transferring the goods from one state to a different state, an invoice and a bill will be automatically created. So here I am transferring the goods from Tamil Nadu to Karnataka and you can see the invoice and bill is being automatically created. So here I am transferring the goods from Tamil Nadu warehouse to Karnataka warehouse. So here you can see the bill and the invoice is being automatically created. So once it is created, you will be able to see the status as in transit. So after transferring it, you can click on mark as transfer so that it will be showing the option like status as transferred. So next we will be looking into the advanced inventory features that are available in Zoho Books with respect to the sales transaction. So whenever you receive an order from the customer, so you will be creating it as a sales order. So after getting an order, we need to pack the items and we'll have to ship it to the customers. And there will be cases the customer might be returning the goods to us also. So all these process you will be able to keep track of it. So let's see it one by one. The first one in this would be pick list. So pick list is nothing but a document with which you will be able to provide it to your warehouse picker who will be picking the items from the warehouse in order to create a package of the same. So this pick list is not a mandatory one. You can either create it before creating a package or you can ignore it. So let's see how to create a pick list. Once you have created the sales order, it should be in confirmed status in order to create this pick list. So if the sales order is in the confirmed status, you will be getting this option create, under which you will be able to see an option as pick list. So I have already created a pick list for this transaction. So while creating the pick list, you will be able to assign a user to the pick list and the items available in the sales order would be placed here. So if you wanted to add more items also, you can use this option and you can add it. So you can also mention what is the quantity need to be picked and what is ordered and what is already picked. So once this is done, you will be able to update the status of the pick list. So you can either update the status of each and every line item in it, or you can update the pick list, whole pick list status itself. So once it is done, you will be able to see the status as completed. So now we have picked the items in order to pack it to the customer. So now we will be creating the package. So in order to create the package also, the sales order should be in confirmed status. You can create multiple packages for a single sales order. So again, if you come to the confirmed sales order, if you click on create, you'll be getting an option as package. So here I have already created a package. So this package would be consisting of 3 different stages. One will be packed, other one is shipped, and the other one is delivered. So after packing it, we will be shipping it to the customer and it will be delivered. So now let's see how the package is being created. So this will list all the items that you currently have in your package, and here you will be getting an option to evaluate packing geometry. So which is nothing but, so here I have 3 different items. So here I will be mentioning what is the dimension and the weight of each items. So once I have entered it, so it will be giving me an option to mention the box name. So if I'm going to pack all these items in a single box or in multiple boxes, so I can mention the dimension of the item along with its weight. So once I have mentioned it, I can click on compute. So it will show us a visualized view of the box and the item that is placed inside it. So you can get a view of how the items will be within this particular dimension box. So based on this also you can create a package after viewing this. So you can just click on view summary. You will be getting an option to create a package from here itself. From here you can directly create package for each and every box. So based on this you will be getting a package slip will be generated. So once this package is created, so now we will be shipping the goods to the customer. So in order to ship the goods, we will be creating a shipment. So from here, you can create the shipments, or from the packages which has been created, which is yet to be shipped, from there also we can ship the goods. So for shipping, we will be having two different methods. One is ship manually, other one is ship via carrier. So ship manually is nothing but, so whenever you have your shipping the goods by your own vehicle or with some other carrier which is currently not available in Zoho Books, you can use the option as ship manually, and you can enter all the details of shipments manually, and you can update the status of shipments manually. And if you're going via this option as ship via carrier, so in Zoho Books we have certain shipping integrations available. So you can integrate those shipping integrations available, and the status of the shipments will be automatically updated and fetched on the same. So now let's see how to create a shipment. So once the package is created, so we will be creating a shipment. So in this shipment, you'll be able to see an option to select the carrier, from which carrier you're actually shipping the goods, and if you have any tracking ID and URL, you can mention the same. And if you're going to track the shipment in real time by using any of the carriers available, you can do this. So once you're whenever you create it itself, so if the item is already shipped and it has been delivered, so you can select this option and you can mention the delivery date so that the shipment will be moved to the delivered status. So if not, if you wanted to send the notification alone to the customer that you are shipping the goods, you can select this option, and you need to select the email ID of the customer in the sales order in order to send this notification. So once this is done, the shipment will be in the shipped status. So you can also mark it as delivered, or you can update the status of the shipment, like if it is in transit or out for early delivery. So you can update the status of the shipment, and once it is completely delivered, so you can mark it as delivered. So if in case if you have accidentally marked it as delivered, if you wanted to mark as undelivered also, we have an option here. So you can mark as delivered from here. So this will be applicable in case of if you're shipping manually. So if you have any shipping integrations, all these status will be automatically fetched and updated. So next would be back order and drop shipment. So whenever you ship your goods to the customer, if in case the good needs to be purchased from one of your vendors, so if the product is out of stock and if you need to purchase it from the vendor, so in these cases you need to first purchase it from the vendor by creating a purchase order and bill for the same, and then you will be selling it to the customer by shipping it to them, right? So in those cases you will be creating a back order. So now let's see how to create a back order. So for the same, you will be going to sales order, and this back order option will be available only in the sales order which has item in out of stock. So here I have some items which is out of stock, so that is the reason I'm getting this option as back order now. So if I do this back order, so I'll be able to see a purchase order being created. For this transaction, I have already created a back order. So if you click on back order, so a purchase order will be created. So you can select the vendor to whom you are purchasing this from, and the items from the sales order will be automatically added here. So from this you will have to create a bill, and you will have to actually receive this product. So until you create a bill and complete this purchase, you will not be able to create any invoice or package in the sales order, as the sales status of the sales order will be in on hold. So if you wanted to create any package or invoice, so before creating this back order, you can create an invoice and you can proceed with your sales transaction, and you can create a back order and you can purchase it from the customer. So now when you are back ordering it, let's say if your company is in Tamil Nadu and you are purchasing from a vendor in Karnataka and your customer is also from Karnataka. So instead of purchasing the goods and receiving it in Tamil Nadu and sending it back to Karnataka where the customer is actually residing, if you want the vendor to actually ship the goods to the customer, since both are in the same place itself. So in that cases, you can create drop shipment. So this drop shipment option would be available from the sales order, if you click here, you'll be getting an option as drop ship. So from here, you can create the drop shipment. So for this transaction, I have already created a drop shipment. So drop shipment is also nothing but a purchase order. So you'll be creating it, but instead of delivering it to your warehouse or your location, so you'll be able to see this option drop ship to the customer details will be updated here. So which means the vendor will be directly shipping the goods to the customer and you will be receiving the bill for the same, and you can create the bill and you can record the transaction. So once this is done, you can go to the sales order and you can start creating the invoice and everything to the customer. So now we have received the order and we have shipped and delivered the goods to the customer. So what if the customer thinks that the product is damaged midway and if it is expired? So in those cases, the customer will be either returning the goods if they are not satisfied, or if the product is damaged, we need to actually provide and credit to the customer. So in such cases, we will be able to create a sales return from Zoho Books. So that option also would be available from this create option after creating a shipment and packages for the particular sales order. So I have already created a return for this particular sales order. So once you while creating the return, so you will be selecting the date and the warehouses. So once you have selected this, you will be getting this option. This sales return contains credit only goods. So which means, so whenever the product is received by the customer, if the product is damaged or expired, so in such cases, getting it back into our stock will not be an valid case. So you will not be getting into our stock, but instead of that, you will be providing credits to your customer. So once you have enabled this option, you will be getting two columns here. So one is to record the receivable quantity if you are receiving this product into your stock, or if you are going to provide only credit. So if you are not selecting this option, you will be able to enter only the return quantity of the item. So if in case if you wanted to raise a credit note and provide credit to your customer, so you can enable this option and you can use the same. So once this is done, from this return itself, you will be able to create the receipts, the return receipts. So if you are receiving any product from the customer back, so you can create this return receipt. And if you are going to provide credit, and you can create a credit note. So in order to create a credit note from the sales order, you need to create an invoice. So once the invoice is created from the sales return, you can create a credit note and you can give it to the customer. So now we have seen what are all the features that are available within the sales transaction. So now we will see what is the feature that are available within the purchase transaction. So which is nothing but purchase receipt. So whenever you are receiving, like whenever you are placing some orders to your vendor by a purchase order, so you'll have to keep track of the quantity of the item that you are actually being received from the vendor. So this will help in such cases where will help you in creating the bill with the accurate quantity of the item that you have actually received. So you can create a purchase order for a quantity of 10 for an example, and if you are actually received only 5 quantity, so in that case you will have to create a bill for 5 quantity alone. So instead of this, if you are not creating any receipt, you will not be knowing how much of quantity you have actually received. So this will help you in avoiding these kind of errors. So this bill can be created from the purchase order from the purchase order, or either from the purchase receipt. So now let's see how to create a purchase receipt. So for this, you will be going to purchases and purchase orders. So once you create a purchase order, if it is an issued status, so you will be able to see an option to create a receipt. So here I have already created a receipt. So here the receipt was not created, and you will be able to see an option to create a receipt. So whenever you are creating any receipts, so you will be able to mention how much of quantity you are actually going to receive. So if the receipt is in transit, so you can mention that it is currently in transit. So once it is received, you can mark it as received. So once it is actually received, you can create a bill from the purchase receipt, or you can go back to the purchase order and you can create the bill from here itself. And you can view both the purchase receipt and bills from the purchase order itself. So next we'll see what are all the shipping integrations that are available in Zoho Books as part of this add-on. So these are all the shipping integrations that are available, and ShipRocket is currently available in early access. Upon user request, this will be enabled to your organization. So now let's see how to access the same. So for the same, you can go to settings. In settings, you can go to integrations and marketplace. You can go to shipping. So here you will be able to see the list of shipping integrations available. So you can set up any one of it up to your preference. So next we'll see what all the shopping cart integration available. So shopping cart is nothing but, so if you have any website as an online store wherein your customers are placing orders and you will be getting payments from them from the online store itself, from the website. So you can create your own online store by using any of the shopping cart integrations available. So Zoho Commerce is an in-house application of Zoho, so which will help you in building your own website. So wherein you can have your customers place your orders based on this, the sales orders will be created in Zoho Books. So likewise, Shopify that everyone knows. So you can also integrate your Shopify stores and have your orders being synced with Zoho Books. So now let's see how to do the integration. So for the same, you can go to settings under integrations and marketplace. You'll be able to see shopping cart. So here you'll have the list of shopping cart integrations available. So you can set up which one is relevant to you, and you can have the transaction synced in Zoho Books, like sales orders and the items will be synced in Zoho Books. So the next is e-commerce integration. So instead of having your own website, if you are selling it via any of the e-commerce applications available, so in that case we have these two e-commerce integrations available in Zoho Books, with which you can add your account here, and likewise you will be able to see your transactions getting synced. So this option would be available again under integrations and marketplace. You can go to e-commerce. So there you will be able to see these options available. So here you can see the items, the sales orders and the shipments, everything will be in sync with Zoho Books instead of you manually creating the same in Zoho Books. So once the integration is done, so it will be automatically in sync. So next we will see what are all the reports that are available in Zoho Books as part of this advanced inventory integration. So for this you will be going to reports. So in reports, by default under inventory, you'll be able to see few reports. So as part of this advanced inventory tracking, you'll be getting batch details report and warehouse report. So this batch detail report will give you a detailed an overview of what all the batches you have created in Zoho Books, and this warehouse report will give you an overview of the stock available for each and every item with respect to the warehouse. So likewise, you'll be getting sales return history report in under sales, so which is nothing but it will give you an overview of whatever the sales return you have created with respect to its status. And whenever you create an item, you will be able to select a category for the item. So this report will be generated based on the category that you have selected. And the last one under sales is the packing history, so which is nothing but the details of the packages that you have created along with the status would be available. So likewise for the purchases, we will be having this report as purchases by category, which is similar to sales by category, wherein here the purchases based on the category will be displayed, and you will be having receive history, so which is nothing but the purchase received that you have created in Zoho Books along with the overview of the same would be available here. So with this we will come to the end of the session. So if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat. So now we have a question from Pratiksha Bundle. So why we make bundles of item? Is it mandatory to make a bundle? So this bundling will be applicable only for composite items. So whenever you create a composite item, this composite item consists of multiple items inside it. So this multiple items, whichever you have inside the composite item, that you might be purchasing it from the vendor. So in order to reduce the stock of that item and in order to increase the stock of the composite item, so you'll have to create a bundle. So without creating any bundle, you'll not be able to increase the stock of the composite item and not decreasing the stock of the items that you have inside the composite item. So now we have a question from Suprat Mohanty. Can item barcode template is customizable? So we have certain limitations on the same. So let me show you the same. So here let us consider this barcode template. So if you edit this template, so you'll be able to see these template properties. So you can set up the margin and the PDF, like the PDF font and the barcode type. So what kind of type you want for this particular barcode, and you can select the size and the width and height of the same, and you can also choose to have what are all the additional details you want this to be displayed. So these customization you can do it in the barcode template. So we have a question now from Amit Kumar. So this will create two pick lists, but the requirement is for the single customer, it would be a single pick list. So whenever you create a pick list, like it can be in multiple sales order or anything. So if you're selecting multiple sales order and you're trying to create a pick list also, the pick list one will be a single pick list. So inside a single pick list, so you can add multiple sales order items from multiple sales order. So that will not create multiple pick list here. So the pick list will remain the same. So the pick list will be a single pick list inside which you'll be able to add multiple items from the multiple sales order. So now we have a question from Balaji. So like where the physical stocks are automatically updated when we raise a bill and invoice, and how to do the changes in the settings. So let me show you the same. So when you go to settings under general, once you have enabled these modules, so you'll be able to see this option, physical stocks gets updated automatically when the bills and invoices are created. So after enabling this inventory modules in Zoho Books, you will get this option to change the same. So you can change it to have it as automatically or manually. So automatically is automatically updating the physical and accounting stock based on the invoice and bill. So manually would be, you will be manually marking it as shipped and received in order to update the physical stock. So now we have a question from Nagendra Chari. So can get report of item quantity with value and purchase rate. So let me show you the report for the same. So under the report section, so you'll be able to see a report named as payable details, which is under the payable section. So here you can select the date range. So based on that, whatever the transaction, that is the bills transaction you have created with the item name and its price will be like shown here. So if you wanted to customize the columns, if you want to add any columns also, you can add it. We have a question from Nagendra Chari to know about inventory adjustment. So let me explain you about inventory adjustment. So let's say you have an item which is actually like has been lost, or it is not currently available, and if you wanted to adjust the quantity, or if in case the value of the item is incorrectly updated and if you wanted to modify the value, so in such cases you can create inventory adjustment. So you can do quantity adjustment or value adjustment. So if you're doing quantity adjustment, so once you select the item, so you will be able to mention what is the new quantity that you have in hand, and it will show what is the quantity you have adjusted. And in the same case, if you are doing value adjustment, so it will show the current value of the item. So you can enter what is the new stock value of the item and it will be adjusted. We have a question from Parishik Bhatt. Can we export the SKU with serial numbers? So yes, you can do. So let me show you the same. So when you go to items and if you export the items, you'll be able to see this option, add additional fields. So there you can select serial numbers or batch numbers and you can export it. So when this is exported, you will be able to see the serial and batch numbers also. Thank you all. With this, we come to the end of the session. So we hope we have answered most of your questions. So for the unanswered questions, we will be reaching out to you via our support email. And you can also reach out to us in support.india@zohobooks.com. You can drop an email and you can also call us in our helpline number. So we are supporting currently in different languages, so you can reach out to us on the same. So thank you for your patience and thank you for joining the session.